Okay. Hello, and welcome to the 741 channel. Thank you for stopping by. This morning, I figured I'd kind of go live here and do a little bit of a sort of news and update video for the channel, things I've got going on. Thought about making a traditional video, but, I got to practice this live stream stuff, so I figured I'd just go ahead and fire up here and see what's happening. So here we are. So I guess the first thing I'll lead off with here that I'll talk about is the YouTubers Hamfest that we have planned for May. Originally, that was scheduled for May 16th. If any of you out there haven't heard, we've pushed it back a week to May 23rd. So set your calendars for that. We'll have more of an official kind of update on that coming up in a few days. Probably do another video just to let you guys know some more of the details. As far as my portion of it goes, right now I'm tentatively kind of scheduled to stream, I think somewhere around 11:30 to 12:30 on that day, May 23rd. I'm going to be talking with SDR Play. They're going to join me for a little while, and then I think I'm going to do a segment on used gear. Buying tips, what to look for, maybe sought after gear. Not exactly sure what I'll do yet. So if you guys have anything you want to see related to used gear or buying stuff at swap meets or Hamfests as far as ham radio related gear goes, let me know and we'll kind of work that in. I think most of the other guys are focusing on sort of the new gear, the vendors. So I thought it would be kind of good to bring in sort of the used side of it or the swap meet side of it, just to kind of cover that since we really can't go to any Hamfests right now, which is really the whole inspiration behind the YouTubers Hamfest in the first place. We figured we'd do a virtual Hamfest just to tide us over until things get back to normal, whenever that might be. Let's see, over in the chat we got Smoking Ape. How you doing, Ape? And we got the Bugman. Mark is in there. Mark, everybody really likes the antenna. There's quite a few comments on there, so that was a good one. I know we came up with that a number of years ago, and it still holds up well. So we gotta bust those out and maybe hike up Mount Monadnock again and try them out. Let's see, Billy Ramirez is in there. How you doing? I'm going to be doing some motorcycle videos here soon, Billy. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about. I know you're a motorcycle guy, so I've got some work to do on my old Honda CM400 that I'll probably be putting on the channel, and just some other stuff going on with that. If it ever warms up enough, and it's warm when I have time to ride, so to speak. But anyway, so stick around for those. Let's see, Nordlander is in there. How you doing? Yeah, we didn't win the 7300, but that's okay. That's okay. I think it went to somebody who'll use it for sure. It's good to see. I think it was a new ham that got it. I don't know. Things were a little crazy last night. I didn't follow exactly, but it was good to kind of see that happen, and great to see Josh pass that milestone, and just kind of see the hobby or so much excitement in ham radio these days. That's kind of a good thing. So yeah, let's see what else is going on here. So like I said, if you're just joining, I wanted to lead off and mention that the YouTubers Hamfest that we originally scheduled for May 16th, we're moving it back a week. It's going to be May 23rd, so set your calendars for that, and keep an eye on all of the YouTubers Bunch channels for a more official update here sometime, probably in the next week or so. Okay, so that was the first sort of news item that I had, and I guess, well, before I move on with the next one, what's in the chat here? Nordlander says he's got one. 7,300 anyway. Yeah, I guess you don't need more than one. Good Game is in there. How you doing, Steve? And I missed John Deere 620 from Maine. He's got a used Baofeng for the swap meet, $50 works mint. Yeah, it's funny. You see those at the Hamfest for that. And funny thing is people are buying them and paying that. So so there you go. Maybe we'll throw that in there for you. Let's see. Ape did confirm the guy that won the 7300 was a new ham, so that's cool. Yeah, Nordlander says it was nice that a new ham got it. And Oh yeah, Abe said he thinks he was studying to get licensed. Yeah, so that's going to be great for that guy. It's going to give him an incentive to pass that test for sure. So let's see. Next thing I wanted to talk about. Let's see. I'm going to bring this up so that I don't forget stuff. There's the YouTubers bunch, by the way. The next thing I wanted to talk about was Field Day 2020. Now, Steve, Good Game Ham Radio, he did a nice video on this a few days ago. So you might want to check his channel and watch his video on the subject. I don't know if that I have really a lot to add to that, but I wanted to just kind of talk about it a little bit. I plan to participate in Field Day. I'll probably do it from home. I'm not sure exactly what I'll do yet. I never know with contests or any events like this. I have a busy schedule, so I never can commit. This thing is 2 days long. I never can commit that much time to it. So if I were to operate, it would only be Saturday. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to operate from home here, set up like an emergency station outside, almost like a POTA station. Got my battery and my antenna and stuff. My other option is that I could go across the street. There is a state forest right across the street that is now a POTA entity. So I thought maybe I could just go over there. I'd qualify first for public space because it's a state forest, and Connecticut state forests are still open, and I don't think they're going to close. So I could go over there. And then the other thing that would allow me to do is not only operate Field Day, but I could count that as a POTA activation. My third option is, depending on what we're looking at here in Connecticut for physical distancing, restrictions at that time, I might go to one of the other state parks that's got a little bit more traffic and set up there. And maybe some of my ham buddies locally can come. Maybe Mark can come out, and some of the other guys. We kind of have this cool group of guys. It's not really a club. We all get on the local repeater and talk to each other, and we just have a good time. And we sort of put something together last minute for Field Day, and some of those guys stopped up where we were, and it was fun. We had some technical issues, so we didn't make a lot of contacts, but we still had fun. So we thought about doing something a little more with a little more effort this year. But again, it's all going to depend on what we're up against for restrictions. But at the very least, I'm going to operate at least for a few hours from home. And I wanted to encourage you guys to kind of do the same thing. If you can participate in Field Day, please do so, even if it's just for a couple of contacts. We want to show the world that ham radio can overcome and adapt any kind of adverse conditions, whether it be weather or compromised gear, pandemics, doesn't matter. We need to get out there and demonstrate that, we're able to kind of provide communications when others can't. And that's really the point of Field Day. So, I know some people are kind of bickering about sort of the rules and regulations. Maybe they thought the ARRL should have changed some things. It's going to be tough for technicians if they can't, go and visit with a club that might be putting things on because they can't get on the HF bands and that sort of a thing. And I know that's kind of a tough situation. And some people are upset because, it's going to be mostly home stations on the air probably, and those don't really count for points. But that's not really the spirit of Field Day. So let's just get out there and operate and do the best we can and try and bring those technicians in if we can, but still follow whatever rules and restrictions we're under. Let's make the best of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, let me look at the chat again. Let's see. Good Game's talking about the guy that won the 7300. Somebody gave up their remote testing spot to let the 7300 winner get in. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. See, that shows that, the ham radio community by and large is really a great group of, guys and gals. They'll take care of each other when needed. John Deere didn't enter the giveaway, help someone else who needed a radio. Yeah, I agree with that too. I entered it and then I thought better about it after I did. And I said, boy, if there's a chance I win that thing, I'm going to make him give it to someone else because I don't need it. But I shouldn't have entered it in the first place like you. Let's see. Looking forward to Field Day 2020, Nordlander says. Yeah, I am too. I think it's going to be an interesting challenge. We're going to have a little bit more to kind of work around this year, so we'll see how it all goes. Appreciate the shout out, Steve. Yeah, no problem, Steve. Anytime. You got a great channel, so people need to be watching it. Let's see. Good Game is going to go do a POTA activation. All right. Well, if I'm in the shack, I'll try and keep an eye on the spotting page. Maybe I can work you here from Connecticut. Let's see. Nordlander says he's getting so old that he can't remember if he entered the contest. Let's see. John Deere says he may do a portable self-activation on Field Day. Yeah, again, like I said, I might do that too. We'll see how it all goes. Excuse me. I will tune up the rubber duck on 80 and run a kilowatt into it. Yeah, you might as well. See what happens. I might be able to hear you. Let's see. The wife wants me to wash the windows on the house today. I have to leave. Catch you later. Okay, catch you later, Nordlander. I should be doing that instead of making videos here. That is on my list of chores to do. Let's see. Smoking Ape was thinking of setting up a QRM station. I like that. That's pretty good. There's plenty of people already setting those up though, so you may have competition or help, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. Actually, last year when I did Field Day, I got QRM'd right at the end. In fact, that's why I kind of shut everything down. It was getting late anyway, and a couple of guys were QRMing me, so I said, the heck with it. I don't need it, and just packed up and left. Let's see. Hello from Tennessee. Welcome from KM4ACK. Thanks for stopping in from Tennessee. Let's see. Everybody's saying hi to him. Okay, I think we're caught up in the chat. That's cool. Okay. So the next item, well, I got them backwards on my list here, but I think the next item I wanted to talk about was Connecticut fox hunting. Those of you who follow my channel have probably seen me do some fox hunting videos lately, or transmitter hunts. And I just wanted to kind of plug this in case you guys are interested in it. I don't know if I covered this fully in my videos, but there is a groups.io kind of email reflector for the Connecticut fox hunting effort, which is kind of more or less taking place here in northern Connecticut, northeastern Connecticut-ish, north central. I don't know. Connecticut's a small state, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. But what's happening is some members of this group are hiding these hidden transmitters. There's now 4 of them out there in the wild. And fox hunting has sort of a kind of a long tradition with the Bears of Manchester Amateur Radio Club, and also with some of the other clubs in the area, truth be told. And it kind of went dormant for a while. The Bears always did their traditional New Year's Day fox hunt, but they used to have more throughout the year, as did some of the other clubs in the area. But with all the stay-at-home restrictions going on, some of the members have kind of resurrected this and put out these automated fox boxes in, usually state or kind of public park type things, which again haven't closed here in Connecticut and probably aren't going to. So this has been a lot of fun. It's been a good diversion for everyone. But I just wanted to kind of plug this, let you guys know this is here. If you're in Connecticut, you can join this group and you'll get notifications as to when the boxes move. They move about once a week or so, and you'll get notifications if a new one comes online. And then you'll also get clues. The people that kind of go out searching for it, usually the first one that finds it posts sort of a rough location as to where they were able to hear it first. That'll give you a starting point, and then you can go from there, kind of a thing. So it's a lot of fun. And even if you're not in Connecticut, you could, follow along in this group and see what everyone's doing, and maybe get some inspiration to try this in your area. Basically, the fox boxes, if you haven't seen my videos, they're just basically ammo cans. And I think people are just using Baofeng radios really as sort of the transmitters. And they're using, I think for the most part, they're Bionics I think that's the name of the company, Bionics controllers, Foxhunt controllers. I should have looked that up and put that up here first. But anyway, you could search for that if you wanted to build the controller. They're just putting those in an ammo can with an antenna, and then they lock them with some kind of a cable or a chain to a tree out in the wild and camouflage them. But so far, there's been no issue with people trying to tamper with the boxes or anything. But it's been a lot of fun. Even my 8-year-old son is kind of getting into it, and my sister and brother-in-law, who are also hams, are getting into it. In fact, they were out yesterday looking for one that's in the area, and I think if the rain holds out, my son and I are going to go try and look for it, because my sister and brother-in-law couldn't find it yesterday, so this one's going to be tricky. So let me see. Let me go back to the comments. Let's see. Good Game says he needs to come up with a transmitter for my kids at school for fox hunting. Yeah, like I said, I think if you go to the Bionics website, I really think that's the name of the company. I'm not going to pull it up here, but search for that. They have the Fox controller kit. I think it's a kit that you can build. If it's not a kit, then it's something that you can buy. But if it was a kit, that would be cool, because you guys could build it, hook it up to a Baofeng, and build the whole box. It would be a great little lesson for the kids, I would think. A great project. So check that out. And then there's some more details in this group here too, Steve, if you want to look for it. Smoking Ape says the fox hunt videos were awesome. Thanks, Ape. I appreciate that. I had fun making them. I don't know how many I'll make. There's only so much you can say, but I do have a couple of more topics for fox hunting that I may kind of bring in here in the future. People seem to enjoy those videos. So I got a couple more things I'll do on those here upcoming, and then that's probably going to be it for a while. Let's see. Cam4ACK says, one of these days I need to figure out how to make a fox out of a pie. Yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do. I'm sure a pie would work. But this Bionics controller, I think, is pretty simple and cheap too. You don't need a lot. It just needs to, key the transmitter every so often, throw out an ID of some kind, and then make some noise, so to speak. But yeah, if you use the pie or something, maybe you could bring some voice into it. I think one of the people on one of my videos commented, maybe it was even you, said that it would be kind of fun if instead of making that tone that our Fox boxes make, if it kind of threw out heckles at the hunters, kind of a thing. So you can do a lot with it. I think it would be a lot of fun. Let's see. Cal's in here. How you doing, Cal? Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you dropping by. Let's see. Good Game says, I ran across some software for the Pi on GitHub, but it's really outdated. Well, maybe you can update it. I don't know. Get the kids to help you out with that. Let's see. DX Commander says he's just chilling. That's cool. Chilling over there in the UK. It's kind of UK weather here today. Kind of gray, overcast, and damp kind of a thing. So we'll see what happens here. Let's see. Fans, Alarms, and Ballast says good morning. Well, good morning. Hey, Kyle's in here too. How you doing, Kyle? Let's see. Alan in New Jersey has stopped by. 74 ARB. Thanks for dropping in. And let's see, I think we're caught up. So we'll go on to the next topic, which is the New England QSO party. And I'm glad Kyle's in here because I wanted to give Kyle a shout out. Those of you who follow me regularly know that I'm not really a contester. I don't really like logging my QSOs or anything like that. I have fun with POTA and I force myself to log there, but I've been watching Kyle's videos and talking to him a little bit on the YouTubers bunch, and he's starting to get me to come around a little bit on the contesting. So we were talking last night, I think it was on Josh's stream or somewhere, and people were mentioning the New England QSO party, and I thought, well, geez, I'm in New England, maybe I ought to participate. And of course, with kind of Kyle getting me to kind of come around on contesting a little bit here, I think I'm going to try and make an effort to participate. And again, like I said about field day, I don't really have a ton of time to kind of devote to sit here, for a big chunk of time. But this, as you can see from the website here, it will start around 4 p.m. Eastern time. So I could probably jump in on the Saturday for the evening for a few hours and at least hand out some points and sharpen my skills a little bit here, force myself to do some logging. I think I'm going to try and install the N1MM logger. Kyle's got some great videos on that, so I need to get that installed and start working with that a little bit. I really should, considering that I believe N1MM lives in the next town over from me. So it'd be nice to kind of use his stuff and support a local guy. I know that's a great logging program. Right up until now, I've been just using Log for Old Men, which is free but kind of clunky, kind of a thing. So anyway, we'll see what happens. But I want to get on the air for the New England QSO party and at least hand out some points and throw the logs up there so that everything is kind of official. I don't know if I'll submit my scores for this or not. Again, I don't know if I'm quite there yet, but I'm never going to win a contest, not with my station, 100 watts on a wire kind of a thing. But I think it'll be fun to participate. And if the weather is nice, maybe I'll even go outside and set up a portable station or something. We'll see. But for those of you who are into contesting, I know this is just one of several QSO parties that are going to be on the air. Kyle will know which ones they are. Next weekend's going to be a busy weekend for that. So if you can get on the air, jump on and maybe you'll hear me there. So let's see. I'll get caught up in the chat a little bit. People are just talking amongst themselves, really. Okay, so Kyle says you don't even have to log your contacts. Just get on the air and put your state on the air for others. Well, maybe you can straighten me out on this, Kyle. I thought maybe, and I don't know where I heard this, but I thought if I didn't log my contacts, they didn't count for the people who were trying to participate in the contest. Like it had to be logged both ways. But maybe I'm wrong on that. Let's see. Contesting can be fun. Says, good game. I tinker with it. Sometimes it's a good draw for kids, too. Yeah, I think the kids get into it a little bit because there's a little more action with it than just kind of sitting there on a rag chew. It's a little more fast-paced for the kids and keeps them a little more engaged. For me, the problem with me is I lose interest quickly. I make 5-10 contacts and it's like, okay, I'm kind of on to the next thing. But I'm starting to come around a little bit more, with it. Like I said, it's I'm starting to kind of get the spirit of it. And when you do participate, I think it kind of makes you a little bit better of an operator. I think that's been discussed on previous live streams, YouTubers bunches, or other people's channels, where when you sort of participate and get in that mindset, it kind of changes the way you operate. I'm more of a rag chewer at heart, and I always will be. But it's good to be able to kind of jump in and make those quick contacts and be able to kind of do that and log at the same time. Because if you were in adverse conditions and you needed to pass traffic in a noisy environment, this is a good way to train yourself to do it. Let's see. Kyle says you can do it casually. Good Game says that's a good logger. I've started with the N3 FJP for my regular logging. A lot of people like the N3 FJP, especially for POTA. I played with that one a little bit too. There's a bunch of programs out there for logging. That's the problem. There's too many. They all work differently. Kyle says one contest for New England QSO Party, Indiana, Delaware, and 7QP for all of them. And then submit one Cabrillo file for all of them. Yeah, you were talking about that last night, Kyle, and I thought that was kind of cool that N1MM took care of that for you, kind of in the background. And then Kyle says, always submit your score. You never know. Yeah, I know. I know. In fact, I was looking through here last night. I was looking at the results, and just I was kind of surprised to see that people are submitting their scores down here. And you can see there's a few people with just a handful of points. And I'm always kind of embarrassed by the number of contacts that I make. But I can see here that people are doing it anyway, and it's okay. And I have to remind myself that, even if you're in last place, you're still on the list, kind of a thing. So that's more than most people can say. But yeah, you can see there's actually even not a ton here. So to your point, Kyle, probably the more you submit, the better it is for the group. It shows more interest and in participation in it. I really, when I looked on this, I really thought there would be more, but there's not a ton. Oh, okay, those were high power. Never mind. But there's still not that many on low power. One guy here even just has 1 point. So, so yeah, you're right. It's probably a good idea to submit. To be honest with you, I kind of got spoiled by that because our club would do field day, and then we just wouldn't get around to submitting our scores because they were usually so low. Our field day was more of a social event than anything else. But I've submitted for the club on field day a few times and saw us in QST, and that was cool too. So yeah, you're right. I really need to submit. Let's see. James Bowie says Bionics is it, or Bionics it is. Okay, so yeah, definitely check that out. DX Commander says best to submit your log for the educators. Yeah, that's true too. Let's see. Kyle says all depends how they score. Typically, if you have a valid call sign, the state QSO party will go ahead and give you that point for those who are logging contacts. Okay, that's good to know. I guess, yeah, like you said, it may vary from contest to contest. Kyle says contesting is good for Aries and races work to be able to pass traffic quickly and accurately. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. The contesting gets you in that mindset so that if you ever are in sort of an emergency situation, whether you're working with Aries or races or not, you can tune your ear in and your hand or your whatever you're logging with, your pencil or your keyboard, and you can kind of get that contact pulled out and pass that traffic. Let's see. Good Games says, okay. Fire Alarm says staying safe, healthy, and washing your hands right. Yeah, of course, we're doing that. Actually, staying home as much as possible. I'm sort of agoraphobic in the first place. I don't like to leave the house, so it gives me an excuse to not go anywhere. Pretty much, my wife and I will take a ride. Well, my wife's son and I. We'll take a ride on the weekends and just to force ourselves to get out of the house and drive one of the cars just so that, the engines, the oil and stuff circulates. But other than that, staying home, working from home. My wife's working from home. My son's doing school online from home. So yeah, just once a week to, get milk and bread or that kind of a thing. Just get out of the house and get some fresh air. But the problem for us is that we live in the middle of a state forest. There's, I don't know, it's about 1,000 acres around us and not very many houses. So, we can go walk in the woods. There's trails all over the place around here to get fresh air. We don't have to go anywhere. So we almost have to force ourselves to go somewhere just to see if the rest of the world still exists half the time. Even though we're in Connecticut, which most people think is kind of densely populated, this part of the state is not really as populated as people would think. So let's see. I'm getting lost here now. Good Game's going to get some coffee. Good idea. I got to get some of mine here too. Yeah, how many pots of coffee so far? I'm still working on my third cup, and that's going to be it for me. I usually only do 2, but I needed an extra one here to get the motivation to do some streaming today. Okay, so I think that's it for those topics that I had. I guess the only other thing I really wanted to talk about was some of my upcoming projects, which I kind of touched on a little bit already. First thing is, I'm going to do at least one more fox hunting video. I've got kind of a tip that I want to share. I might build another antenna, actually. I forgot about that. I got some pieces assembled for a different fox hunting antenna that I wanted to try and put together. So if I get some time and it actually goes together, I'm going to make a video on that. And then I'm going to talk about how to use the third harmonic to find a fox when you're close. Some of the guys in the group are doing that with some success. So I wanted to give that a try myself. In fact, I might do that later here today. Like I mentioned earlier in the stream, there's a fox that's not far from here. My sister and brother-in-law, who are hams, were out looking for it yesterday, and they kind of got stuck. They couldn't find it, so it's going to be a challenging one. And we may go out a little later and see if we can figure it out. Let's see, as far as other projects go, let's see, this just came in the mail yesterday. I wanted to show you guys this. I've got the Pacific Antennas trap dipole 20 and 40 meter kit. I've never really used the trap dipole. I was kind of surfing around on the internet, not yesterday, but last week, and I came across Pacific Antennas. They've got a bunch of kits on their site, real affordable prices. What I was looking for was a little bit more compact POTA antenna. Those of you who follow me know that I have that sort of homemade dipole linked dipole that I use, and I've got the vertical, and those are great for the car. You know, if I'm going to go to a park and I've got the car with me, I can bring my military poles and throw those up. The linked dipole, I don't really need the poles for. I can put it in a tree, I guess, if I want to. And in fact, I've done that. Last year I went out to Rhode Island on the motorcycle and I put that up in a tree, and it worked okay. But it was kind of bulky. I don't have a lot of room, of course, in the motorcycle. So I wanted something a little smaller, and this is what I came up with. So I'm going to put this together here in the next few days if the weather cooperates and test that out. And then maybe we'll do a POTA activation with it and see how it goes. The other thing that I've got, oh, I almost forgot. It's over there on the bench behind me, but also from Pacific Antenna, they had an interesting attenuator kit. Now, I've got an attenuator that I use for fox hunting, but it's kind of big, it's bulky, and I think it only is 20 or 30 decibels. The Pacific Antenna kit is 40 decibels, or 41 maybe. Splitting hairs at this point, but I think it's got more steps than mine. Mine's only got 3, and theirs has maybe 5 or 7. I wish I'd grabbed the kit. It's over there somewhere. But anyway, I'm going to put that together and see if I can use that with my HT for fox hunting as well. So I guess I got more fox hunting stuff than I thought. So for radio projects, those are what I've got coming up. And then a new project came up yesterday. The reason I wasn't out fox hunting with my sister is that I was going to wash the cars. It was beautiful here. And I've got a power washer that I bought last year, electric pressure washer. And it's only a year old, but now it doesn't work. I don't know what happened. I plugged it in yesterday. It worked for about 10 seconds and shut itself off. So you're going to see a repair video on that if I can fix it. And then there's going to be some motorcycle videos coming up. People who watch me know that I kind of dabble between ham radio and auto repair and motorcycles and just household repair. But I've got my old Honda CM400 1981 motorcycle that hasn't seen a lot of love lately in the last few years because I had a dirt bike. A dual sport. I had a Kawasaki KLR 250 dual sport that was constantly breaking down. I was constantly working on that thing. I rebuilt the carburetor 2 or 3 times, made videos on it, and it was just time to get rid of that thing. Every summer I'd pull it out and it needed some other work, and I was just tired of working on that bike. So I sold it over the winter, and now I've got time to work on the CM400, which is kind of a cool bike. If you're into motorcycles, sort of these Japanese standard bikes from the 70s and 80s have kind of resurged with sort of a cult following. And I've had this one for a long time. And there's kind of a backstory to it, which I plan to kind of outline in the video that I make on it. But it needs a little work. The front brakes are sticking, and there's something wrong with the speedometer. I don't know if it's the speedometer or the cable or the thing in the front wheel that makes it work. So there'll be some videos on the CM400. And then I want to get out and do some motorcycle POTA activations. Like I said, that was sort of the reason behind this. I want to try and do a little more motorcycling this summer than I have in the past. So you'll see that stuff coming up. And then, of course, if anything breaks around here, whether it be appliances or plumbing or whatever, or the cars, you'll see videos on that stuff too. So that's what I've got for updates. So let me get back to the chat here. Is anything else going on? Let's see. How do you get internet, cable, or fiber? I'm not sure. My internet here at the house is cable internet, if that's what you're asking, Kyle. Let's see. Good Game just started his second pot. That's good. And then Kyle is asking, on the fox hunting stuff, did you show how to attenuate the signal. I have in previous videos. I might not have covered it quite in the detail that I'd like. It's always been a little tough for me. I need a cameraman or I need somebody else to kind of operate the stuff. So some of the fox hunting videos, I glossed over a few things. But as I was mentioning, I have a new attenuator. So once I get that built, I'll definitely be spending a little more time on that. And of course, I've shown the body fading with the HT against the body. And that seems to work for me. Well, that and an 8-year-old with sharp eyes. Once we get close to the fox, he's usually pretty good at picking out the fox. You know, he sees the stuff that's out of place. But we've also kind of done some geocaching in the past, which fox hunting is similar to that. I don't know if any of you guys have done any geocaching, but my son has, and you know, he kind of knows what to look for. So he's my secret weapon, really. A lot of the guys are kind of building small handheld Yagis for when they get close. But I just bring the 8-year-old. He's almost just as effective. Let's see, James Bowie uses body. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Use the body fading on the HT. But when I'm further out, I have that attenuator box in the truck. But this new attenuator that I've got, I'm hoping that I can rig it up so I can use it on the HT. It's got some BNC connectors. They're in the wrong orientation to kind of stick it on the HT the way that I'd like. But I might be able to come up with something. I had some old adapters somewhere, and if I can fudge something together, I'll do that. Let's see, QRP Guys has an attenuator kit. It's 31 decibels, and you think it's 35. Yeah, the one I got was from Pacific Antenna. I think it's 41, and I think it was 25. I think it was only $25. If it was right here, oh, it is right here. This is the kit. I haven't even opened it yet. I can pull it open here. We'll do a live unbagging if I can get through the tape that they put on here. They packaged it up pretty well. I'm going to have to get a knife to cut that. Let's see. I don't want to break it, getting it out of there, but it's pretty well taped on. But you can see, if I can get it out of here, there it is. So there's the kit, just one single circuit board. A little bigger than an Altoids tin, so it won't fit in that. They had a 3D printed case on there that you could download from Thingiverse, but I don't have a 3D printer. And with social distancing and all that sort of a thing, the guy I know that does have one, I don't want to, bug him, that kind of a thing. So maybe when everything's back to normal, I can get him to print me a case. Or maybe it's an excuse for me to buy a 3D printer, right? But anyway, that's the kit. You can see it's pretty cool. It should be a fun little build. Nice little circuit board, looks like. So should go together. And like I said, 41 dB switched attenuator. So let's see. What else do we have? For a project, how about a tape measure Yagi for tea hunting? Your son could help with that. Yeah, I've thought about the tape measure Yagi. Nothing wrong with those. I like to do stuff different. I always go the other way. Not that there's anything wrong with a tape measure Yagi. I just want to try something different. So I have an idea. But yeah, tape measure Yagi would be fun. He's not quite that committed though. He likes going out fox hunting, but he's not ready to help me with projects in the garage or in the cellar or whatever just yet. He loses interest pretty quick when it comes to that stuff, but he'll come around. We get him down here for 5 or 10 minutes, and then, well, you know how 8-year-olds are. But he's definitely got some interest. There's a spark there, and he's got a knack for some of this stuff. He's definitely getting into the video games and all that stuff. So he's leaning towards sort of the techie stuff. So not going to force him into it, because he'll, kind of, if I force him into it, he may kind of go the other way. But we'll just kind of let him kind of come into it slowly, and we'll see how it goes. Let's see. Kyle says, I'll take a look at that. Our club is looking to do some fox hunting in the summer and want to get all my ducks in a row before hosting something. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, Kyle. Like I said, check the IO groups here if you want some info on how we do it around here. Or maybe you already have, or maybe you guys already have done it in the past and you kind of know what's what. But But this is our take on it here in Connecticut for the fox boxes anyway. We do at least one live hunt a year too, which is a lot of fun. That one's a little more challenging too because we set a bigger radius on where the fox can be. And a lot of times I'm out in areas that I'm not familiar with. It's almost a little easy when we're doing the fox boxes because most of them are around here and I know the areas pretty well. I know the little parks and hiding places. But when we do the bigger radius, the kind of the statewide fox hunt, it's a little more challenging. And the fox, because he's an in-person guy, he's got multiple radios at his disposal. He'll change the signal. He'll change the power. He'll rotate, a Yagi and try and get reflections off of hills or water towers or anything like that. He gets sneaky with the in-person ones to try and throw us off his trail. So you guys will have a lot of fun with it. Smoking Ape wants a 3D printer, but it looks to be a total pain. Yeah, I fooled with 3D printers about 10 years ago at a job I used to work at. My boss came in with one day. I think he bought it on his own credit card. It was his own thing. It was the cheapest thing you could buy at the time. And it sat on a desk, and it was like the minimum amount of parts you needed to have a 3D printer. It was just a frame and a head and a controller kind of a thing, and some software. It worked, but we never got the parts to really lay flat on the table. The heated table really wasn't that great. So we made a few things with it just to experiment and that kind of a thing, and it was a lot of fun. But that was the last time I did any 3D printing on my own. I left that company and then went elsewhere that we didn't have 3D printers and stuff. Actually, where I am now, well, I can't really talk about it, but there's some interesting 3D printing stuff coming up at the company I work for now. And I wish I could talk to you guys about it, but I really can't. But I do want to get one here. The problem is that, and even back then, 10 years ago when we were playing with it, unless you have like a product or something that you're working on, or you're just an avid tinkerer and you have the time to devote to it, it almost isn't worth it because it's just going to sit there. And what are you going to make? Yeah, I'll make a case for the attenuator or whatever, and that's cool. Or you make a little plastic bracket or antenna insulators and things like that. But for the most part, it's going to probably sit idle. And I've got so many other things and projects I'm into. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet because I know it'll just sit here, after the newness wears off, kind of a thing. But they are neat to have. And like you said, they are a little bit of a pain. They take a little bit of kind of practice and finesse to kind of get right. But if you have a need for it, it's kind of a cool thing to have, especially if you're part of a maker's club or something. Then, if you're the 3D printer guy and you're printing everyone's parts for them, then you can probably justify it. Good Game says he'll stick it in his Amazon store. Yeah. Let's see. There are quite a few YouTube videos on fox hunting. Some clubs are still really into it. Yeah, there's pockets of it. Like I said, around here, back in the 90s, it was pretty popular. There was a couple of Connecticut clubs really into it. And then even across the border up into Massachusetts, the Hamden Radio Club or the Mount Tom Club. They were doing it back in the day when I first got licensed. Actually, I got my license through them when I was a tech. And they were doing some fox hunting stuff. I never got involved back then, really. Well, I shouldn't say that. Back before I got licensed, well, I guess it was even after I got licensed, we had CB radio fox hunts. That was quite interesting. Let's see. Good Game says he's taken off. He's going to go get set up for POTA. Yeah, I'm gonna bail out of here soon too. Actually, probably just wrap up in a few minutes. So I will look for you on the air. Once I get out of here, I gotta head up to the garage and see if I can get my power washer working, and then maybe take my son fox hunting. So if I'm in the shack, I'll look for you on the spotting page. So 7-3, thanks for stopping in, Steve. Always love having the YouTubers guys around when I'm practicing my live streaming here. But anyway, I don't know. I forgot what my thought was there, but that's okay. Like I said, I probably ought to wrap it up anyway. At this point, I'm just kind of rambling on. I'm not even sure how long I've been on here for. So, like I said, just wanted to really go through a few updates. And really the point of this was for me to practice some live streaming for the upcoming YouTubers Hamfest. That's going to be coming up at sort of the end of May. So always good to kind of get ready for that. Make sure not only the technology is working, but the dummy behind it is also able to use it and kind of work along. But anyway, yeah, I think that's it for now. So thanks everyone for stopping in. Good to see everybody out here, and thanks for the support, and we'll look for you in future videos. If you're able to, get out there and work Steve on POTA. He's going to be out there. He could probably use a few contacts out in the field, and just get out there and have fun, but stay safe. We want to see you back here for the next live stream and the next video or that kind of a thing. So if that's all everyone else has in the chat, I guess I'll wrap it up for today. So 7-3 from Connecticut. Enjoy the day.